Just one look at this rustic Northwoods Lodge, and you know it's something unique. Naniboujou Lodge was built in the 1920s as an ultra-exclusive private club. Babe Ruth and Jack Dempsey were among its charter members. The club was conceived by a group of wealthy Duluth businessmen as a place to get away from it all, but still have all life's luxuries at their disposal.
The idea is that they would have a hunting and fishing club, and there could be riding stables, golf course, tennis courts, everything. And people would come up here, not like now for a weekend. They'd come up here for a week, a month, possibly even the summer. And they would just stay however long and enjoy their time here, hunting or fishing or whatever.
This is Tim Ramey's 20th season at Naniboujou. He and his wife started out as managers, but they've owned this grand lodge for more than a decade now.
It's very unique. There's so much built in history. I think of places that are made where they try to give it a theme arbitrarily, but Naniboujou is just loaded with a lot of history, and it's such a unique place. And we're located right, I think, the most beautiful spot there is along the shore. So it's special in a lot of ways, but what gives it even more specialness to us is that our staff and our guests are very unique. We just have a wonderful bunch. Because of the type of place it is, it attracts a certain person as well. And to me, they're just cut above the normal person that would stay at a resort.
Tim says the guests do generally have one common bond, a love of nature. The rooms at the lodge don't have any phones or TVs. That's just the way most of the visitors here like it.
The people, the place, overlooking the lake, walking along the shore, having the kids at the shore, throwing the rocks, skipping the rocks, having a fire at night on the beach.
The guests we have here love going down by the lake, love the open feel that you have here. Most of our guests enjoy more the natural things like hiking at this state park across from us, Judge Magny, going up to the Pigeon River High Falls. The hiking possibilities are endless up here. And so that's an attraction for people.
I think it's interesting, the history of it. Babe Ruth, I like baseball. It was interesting that he was one of the original charter members back in the 20s when it developed before the stock market crash, I guess, put an end to the huge development they planned with tennis courts and golf courses and everything. So, but it's real interesting. I see the dining room is the original dining room, and fireplace. And the people here, I think, make it worth coming.
Naniboujou's early glory was short-lived. When the stock market crashed on Black Friday in 1929, the lodge began to fail. By the mid-1930s, the club was in a state of financial shambles and ended up going bankrupt. The original concept behind the lodge may not have survived, but much of the original architecture and painting did.
I one time talked to a fellow years ago that was giving me the facts about the fireplace, and he was actually a tender for the builder of the fireplace, a Swede by the name of Carlson. And I asked him, is it truly 200 tons? And he carried all the rock in, he said, every bit of it. But that also is an amazing structure that has held up so well over all these years.
Much of the decor ties into the Cree Indian motif. The dining hall is fantastically decorated in these brilliant colors and designs.
Circling the dining room are legendary tribal chieftains of the Cree. For example, there's a god of storm or a god of light or whatever throughout. And then at one end, the end of the dining room is Naniboujou himself, who is the god of the outdoors. And so that all ties in there. The dining room, the colors are symbolic. The inverted canoe, talk about the Cree and their travels, much of which I don't have down, and I think it was lost in history.
Whether you're interested in history, nature, or outdoor recreation, you're sure to find it at Naniboujou. To the Ramseys, this rustic old lodge is more than just a way to make a buck. It's a way of life.
To me, it's not a business that's just our livelihood. To me, as I mentioned, between the guests and the staff, it's such a unique, precious bunch that I feel so blessed by them. I had my accident in September of this year where I was involved in a fire and through it, I won't go into detail, but was paralyzed. And you wouldn't believe the number of guests that have been in touch and have been so supporting. It just was amazing.